Everyone good to go?
We're live.
Alrighty, welcome back, everyone, to the Second Take podcast. We are the Sports Business Association. My name is Casey. I'm joined by my co-host,
Alex. Nice to see everyone.
and we have another special guest today. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Solomon. Thank you for having me on the pod. I am a sophomore here at GWU, a Cleveland sports fan, and I'm already depressed on like two of the three sports at least.
Subject
Yeah,
of torture.
It's nice having someone else come on who feels the same misery I do. And as we mentioned before, Sportsmen Association, you can find everything about us through our Instagram page, which is GWUSBA. We have a link tree there where you can find upcoming events and other things that you might be able to get involved with. Like we've said before, we always welcome guests on. So if you have any interest, reach out to myself or Alex. And with that intro out of the way, we can just jump right in. So we're going to start with some familiar territory, some NFL. We had... I would say a little bit more of a normal week, but, that's not very normal given how the season's been going so far.
This season's been crazy, and I mean, couple upsets. We could just start with the biggest one of the week. The one that hits the hardest for me is the Giants thrashing the Eagles at MetLife. This feels like it's been a long time coming. I mean, it has the makings of the 2023 Eagles collapse. So it's just unfortunate it happens to be at the hands of the Giants, where it feels like there's just a lot of bad blood right now. Obviously with the Saquon change and that documentary coming out, not a great look for us to get completely thrashed. Not sure how you guys feel about this one. I'm feeling pretty. I mean, I can't possibly relate to the Browns or the Jets' pain right now, but I feel like this season is pretty out of reach of the aspirations, but
See, I just hear stuff like this, and it just makes my blood boil. You're off the Super Bowl, still have a winning record, still in first place, and you're talking about the season being over. That being said, I do understand where you're coming from for the pure fact that they just really have not looked good in these recent weeks. I mean, I know we've talked about on previous episodes about how their offense has looked in terms of play calling and explosive, big plays down the field. Yeah. You're not seeing any of that anymore, and exactly. It was in week 4 when we kind of touched on it, or week 3, but it's really coming more and more to light. And I see your concern. I want to hear what you have to say about the issues, because once again, I was unable to see the game. I was on a flight, so I want to hear your breakdown about what happened there.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a complete expose on this Eagles off. I can't even. I'm just gonna say the whole team was kind of trash today. The offensive issues, they're all based in coordination. Kevin Patullo's a first-year play caller. It's hard to fault it on him. But as we saw with Brian Johnson in 2023, this Eagles offense, even though it's stacked with talent, it's not a simple traditional offense. It's like a 3-level RPO offense, and you have to be able to dial up those plays to beat the blitz and really utilize it, and you just haven't seen that this year. It's lazy play calling. It's boring. It's obvious to a viewer when they're going to run or 3rd and 9. They're obviously not going to call something that's intelligent. So that's just been kind of rough. And on defense, they're ravaged by injuries. They lost so many players in the offseason, players that weren't that impactful, but when you lose so many vets like Josh Sweat, was a big one, where I'm not even sure he's performing that much in Arizona, but having that veteran presence, it's really been a killer for the Eagles right now. They do have a bye coming up in, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks. Could be a great chance to get right, but there's nowhere you could go with offensive coordination unless somehow, by some miracle, some other coach manages to get fired, and then we do a little coach swap in the middle of the season. But
I mean, if you want Aaron Glenn, he is all yours.
We'll take him.
I've had enough of him after what I saw on Sunday in London.
Too, from Miami. He's definitely
that could be
soon.
He's gonna be a great coordinator wherever he ends up when he eventually gets fired, because
should be soon.
He's gonna get fired. Because they have now moved to 1-5. That's makes me happy. I don't like the Dolphins at all. Hopefully we can overtake 3rd place from them, but at the same time, I'm perfectly fine if the Jets lose out this entire season. I want them to just clear house and get rid of everyone. I mean, what I saw in London on Sunday, -10 passing yards. I don't even need to get into it. Everyone who's watching doesn't even need any more insight about the Jets, just because all you need to know is they're the worst team in football and one of the worst teams I've seen in recent memory. Yeah. And it's a low bar. Or it was a high bar. That's a high bar to set. But looking forward again, I'm going to come back to my Colts take from a couple weeks back. I know I said I saw potential for an AFC championship run from them. Right. And, Cardinals hung tight, and you don't want to be in tight games with the team that, you should be on a different level from. But Daniel Jones, once again, looked pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, we're getting closer and closer. I mean, the Colts are 5-1. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
you kind of have to say they're legit at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm there.
That defense is good.
No, it's strong.
Daniel Jones, this is the 2023 year he led the Giants in the playoffs. It could be another one of those.
No, I'm with you.
I'm sorry. Can we go back really quickly to that Giants? Just the Giants side of the Eagles game.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Jackson Dart, he looked fine. He looked solid.
Right.
But he was fun. He brings just a dynamic element to that Giants offense. Same with Cam Scatterbo. He's making them relevant.
Yeah.
And they're fun to watch.
No, seriously.
They're I don't know if they're gonna go on a playoff run, but they're just gonna be fun to play. They're just a breath of novelty in the NFL right now.
Yeah. No,
I mean, because of your stupid team, the Eagles. I mean, whether they're bad, whether they're good, they're just not fun. I mean, they're kind of like the Chiefs of last year, right? Like, I think they're good enough to beat the bad teams. I don't know if they're good enough to beat the good teams though either. So they can pass by. They can get those wins in the win column anyway, right? The Giants, at least, they just play fun.
Yeah.
They have that good run game. Jackson Dart can move. He can scramble. And, like, I see them all the time on social media, too. Like, people are getting behind them. It's weird. It's like, it feels weird for the Giants anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, kind of touching on that, having that, locker room, just like energy going in each week, you're going to play better. I mean, you could look at, I hate to bring it up again, but if you look at the Jets every weekend, after the game, I know they're 0-6, but this has been a problem for a couple of years. It's not, like they're all together. Besides that one year they started 6-2. It's just, you need to have that energy where in a situation like the Giants, I don't think coming into the season any of those players expected to go on any sort of run like they've been going on right now. And, even though they're 2-4, they have that momentum to go forward. They have those people behind them, and they're going to give people a run, I feel like, each week because of that.
Yeah, and I think the odds of them making the playoffs this year are extremely low.
Extremely low.
But like you were saying, Solomon, this is just, I feel like in a couple years we could look back on this and say, wow, Jackson Dart saved Joe Shane's and Brian Daboll's jobs. Because, change was on the brink here for the Giants. We knew Jackson Dart was going to start at one point, right? Russ and Jameis are bridge players for Jackson to kind of get his feel for the league. But he's been exciting. He's been sharp. I've been fascinated at how great of a rusher he's been because that just seemed like a raw skill of his in college. Yeah. But he's been so elusive. He's fast, and he does take a lot of contact. He's got the rookie running, that is so emblematic of those rookie quarterbacks. But he's been great. And Scatterbo, too, I mean, personally extremely dislike the play style, but it's so fascinating.
And it doesn't matter if you dislike the play style. He takes off his shirt.
Yeah.
Whatever, 11 p.m. It's probably 40 degrees there. Ryan Fitzpatrick takes it off too. Like, it doesn't matter if you like the play style. He's just a fun guy.
Yeah. No. And we love that. I'm going to transition to another big upset. One team that has a lot of cause for concern. Another one that has a lot of cause for happiness, and that is the Falcons versus Bills game.
Oh, wow.
So you saw another outstanding performance from that Falcons defense. I mean, Jeff Ulbrich has completely turned that group around, and the offense, while they played well, there's definitely still a lot they have to work on there, but I feel like as the season goes on, that connection could grow. And I will address the fact that they are in need of a wide receiver too. You can't have Drake London and Bijan Robinson having around 80% of your receiving output each game. But, it's fun to see the stars shine, especially on prime time. And I'm going to go back to my Falcons take from a couple weeks ago. I still see that playoff run on the rise. I could see them making a sneak into the wild card. And in terms of the Bills, I'll let you guys take this one. I personally think they'll be fine. I feel like every year they have like a little hiccup around this part of the season. And then they kind of, run away with the division at the end. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think now that, a team like the Patriots has overtaken that first place spot in the division.
Oh, I don't think I realized that. The Patriots are, because they beat them. They have the head.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
I don't know. I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I do. I would probably take Mahomes in a do or die game, but whatever. Mm-hmm. This seems very Josh Allen coded. Like, I mean, he's gonna have these games where he turns the ball over. This is what his rookie year and his second year was all about.
Yeah.
And he'll have these every once in a while. I mean, that Falcons defense came to play. I mean, it was a home game for them. They're definitely gonna be swarming the field. Don't get me wrong, but like that, I'm not too concerned for the Bills, but just some question marks there.
Yeah. I'd love to go back to. I know, Casey, we talked about this with the Ravens. Mm-hmm. I really feel like with both the Bills and the Ravens, both the lessons applicable to both teams, that the lack of a true alpha wide receiver one, it limits your game plan. When you have an elite quarterback, like elite quarterback, like a guy Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, if you don't have that alternate option to draw attention away, it becomes so easy for defenses to game plan against it because they're not game planning against, Dalton Kincaid is the best receiving threat in this offense. And as much as I love Khalil Shakir to death, love him so much, there's just no standouts on this team. I know they were hoping Keon Coleman could be that guy, but he just doesn't do enough for you. And for the Bills, it's like there's very little reason for defenses to give any credence to any player on the offense that is not Josh Allen. And even James Cook has taken a step back. And you can kind of see in Bills games, James Cook is incredible when they're winning by a million and kind of terribly inefficient. And, part of that comes in with the insistence of this three-headed running back committee, with Ty Johnson and Ray Davis, who are both great players, but it feels like the Bills need stars to shine because Josh Allen, this is a loss that shouldn't happen. And we're not even factoring the Drake London, should have been touchdown where he stepped out 1 yard before the end zone. This could have been a 3-score loss, which for the Bills, that cannot happen at this point in the season.
The era of the running back committee is it's dead. All right.
It lasted 2 years, and I think now we can finally put it to rest.
You want that guy. I mean, Bijan is the best running back in the league, right? Hands down.
He's unbelievable.
He's just so dominant.
It's fantastic.
Tyler Algier, he's solid, right? But he's not necessary. He's not integral to the Falcons' running game. You look at the Patriots, though. They have Ramondre Stevenson, and they have Travion Henderson. That just doesn't work. Neither of those guys are good enough. Neither of those guys are that alpha. The Lions of last year, they had Jahmyr Gibbs and they had David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs is the clear alpha there.
Right.
It's not about the committee. You just need that guy. You need that back. I mean, that's where Ashton Jeanty on the Raiders is just going to be so useful down the line. That's where, you'll see Jeremiah Love next year. He's going to go in the top 15, top 20 in the draft, right? There was this cautionary tale about drafting running backs in the first round.
Right.
Teams are now willing to do that because they don't think you can just patch it together anymore.
Yeah.
It's done.
And I feel like it's not hard to miss on first-round running backs. I'm looking at you, Rashad Penny. But, take a look at your Zekes, your Bijan Robinsons, your Gibbs, your Saquons. Those are guys who are going in the top 10, coming to the league, and to no one's surprise, they take over immediately. And Jahmyr Gibbs is in a weird situation where he's also playing with another, not elite back, but I would say very good.
Yeah.
If you don't have that second back, you need to be feeding your top dog. And to wrap this up, I want to bring up a potential RB committee that's on the rise. With Chuba Hubbard coming back next week. Rico Dowdle once again has just blown the doors off on the team playing against him, and I'm curious what you guys think is going to happen with that offense and the Panthers going forward, because the Panthers are now back up to 500.
I think one of those running backs will be a New England Patriot by the trade deadline. That is my prediction. I don't know which one. I don't know who the Panthers.
You don't think they're going to give Trevion a shot? He hasn't really been given a game really where he's getting more than 12 carries to really show what he can do.
I think the Pats think they can compete, and they're right to think that
they are competing.
They are competing. So I think I just seems like an obvious move. Maybe not the Pats. I'm losing it right now. Who might need a running back?
Chiefs
who's a top
need
team?
a running back.
Chiefs might need one. Yeah, that's a good pick. I mean,
Cardinals are a big name as well.
Yes.
Are they competing though? I guess they might trade for one. Fair enough.
But I think they're in the market for one.
Okay. All right.
I mean, they have a roster where I feel like they should be competing, given the fact that I feel like there hasn't been that much turnaround from a year where they started, 8-0, 9-0? Regardless, they have that same QB who took them there. And, they had DeAndre Hopkins at the time. Now you have Marv and Trey McBride. And, there's no substitute for that version of DeAndre Hopkins they had, but that's what they think they should have with Marvin Harrison. Yeah. And the fact that they're 2-4 is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I think they should look at a guy like potentially Chuba Hubbard, which for me, I don't know how to react because I mean, I've loved the Panthers since I was a kid, even though I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
It's just a team I've always enjoyed. And Chuba Hubbard is a guy who I've also loved since he came in the league. I have a lot of good memories of watching him in the year fill in for Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. So, and I know he's talented. And I know he rushed for 1,200 yards. And all the initial reports out of Carolina has been they plan to be a run-first offense that incorporates both players in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Apparently, the original method was Chuba Hubbard would get the first 2 series and Rico would get the third. But now Dave Canales has denied to say anything about who's starting, who's playing, which makes it kind of a headache for fantasy football, but also for real life. I think this has the potential to be a really fascinating 1-2 punch. But I think they can consider moving off of it. But I think if you've seen what you've seen from Carolina, there's no really reason to move off of either of these, unless you get like a blow your socks off offer for a running back, which means anything better than like a 4th round pick. But I think there's a complete chance that one of these guys get moved. I think it's more likely that this is just a two-headed running back monster for the rest of the year, which is going to be so fun to watch.
Yeah, and speaking of maybe not two-headed monster, but a monster in themselves, I'm going to shift us over to baseball. Last night, the Dodgers once again dominated the Brewers. I feel bad because it just doesn't even seem fair. I mean, you could throw out your like $670 player, that $670 million player, and Shohei Ohtani on the mound. He'll put out a good performance. Then you throw out your $180 million pitcher, and then here comes Blake Snell. It's like, it's just so bothersome to watch because they're so good.
It's depressing.
And for lack of a better word, I just can't see the Brewers even coming close to competing against this team. I mean, they've been blown out of the water both games. I want to shift this to a more interesting series where I feel like there wasn't as much of a clear idea of who would be the one on top, and it's not the team I expected. It's the Seattle Mariners, and I know you were big on them coming into this postseason. My predictions, I think all four teams I mentioned besides the Blue Jays are out, so I want to address this Mariners-Blue Jays series with you guys.
All right, really quickly, the stat I saw was that Blake Snell is making more than the entire Brewers starting rotation combined.
And that's just Blake Snell. That's not counting Yamamoto.
That's not counting Shohei.
Shohei's $780 million contract.
Tyler Glasnow coming out of the bullpen. It's like
it's an abundance of riches. It's embarrassing, honestly. I mean, listen, as a Cleveland Guardians fan, I get to complain about the status of the MLB and this pay to win that we're now in the major leagues. And I mean, sure, we see the Mets have faltered. We see the Red Sox until recently have faltered. I mean, the Phillies have not gotten over that hump. Yeah. But like, all these teams are great. Like at their heart, they have so much money. They have all the players. They have all the money they could ever need. And that's where the Dodgers are. The fact is, they're probably going to repeat. They're probably going to go on to win the series. They're probably going to go on to beat the Mariners probably, but it's terrible. It's terrible. We need a salary cap. We need it. I will say the nice thing about being that team, the Cleveland Guardians, I know Brewers fans who've also said this, we get to just cope. We get to just be like,
you can justifiably cope.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a Mets fan, I cannot. I can just be disappointed. But Mets and Jets are used to this disappointment, so you can go after them. But I feel like Mariners Blue Jays. This is this is a pretty even matchup. I feel like the lineups stack up pretty well against each other, and I'd say the Blue Jays have more talent, but it hasn't come out. And I want to give some love to the Mariners, starting rotation so far. They've looked great. And looking towards Game 3 tonight, you have Shane Bieber versus George Kirby. Now we're back in Seattle, and they have a commanding 2-0 lead. Do you guys see the Blue Jays making a comeback?
Not as of right now. And I mean, Jorge Polanco is on an unimaginable tear. I mean, it feels like every game you can check the box score, and sure enough, he's driving in 2 to 3 runs a game. But I feel like I felt so strong about this Mariners lineup just because of the way they're loaded from top to bottom, from 1 to 9. You have guys who can hit at every level. You have power hitters. You have your Raleigh and Eugenio Suarez, and then you have guys like Naylor who just went 3 for 4 in this 10-3 blowout. Guys who get on base, Randy Arozarena, who could steal home on any given game. It's just this lineup is so electric, and that's not even considering this wealth of starting pitching that they have. I just feel like the Mariners are so deep, and I did not expect them to walk into Toronto and not steal 2 games, but dominate. Yeah. Well, maybe just the second game, but I mean, what an advantage to go back. And that Mariners home crowd might be second to none. I mean, I know the Phillies home crowd is amazing, but this Mariners crowd, this home advantage is debatable.
The truly remarkable thing in all of this is coming off of that 15-inning marathon game. Yeah. 5 was it against the Tigers? Yeah, just an amazing game. Wow, by the way, incredible watch. Yeah. I think I started watching in the 9th inning, and it just kept on going.
Still got a full ball game.
Exactly.
Same.
And then they come in. They have 1 night's rest, or 2 nights rest, 1 day's rest. They come in. Their pitching is impeccable. They let up 1 run in that first game, and the bats are still there. I mean, you're right. It just shows so much resilience that they've got to just go into that do or die game and then come back game 1 against the Blue Jays and show them everything they have. It's really impressive. And at this point, I think you have to just assume they're advancing.
Yeah. I mean, I take a look. One thing that sticks out to me is the fact that, especially after their pen got, essentially dried out after that marathon against the Tigers, they come out here in game 2 and their bullpen, they use 3 pitchers, 2 innings each, 1 hit, total. I mean, they clearly have a lot in the tank, and I think they want it more. But either way, to wrap up, we will go back into our probably most controversial sport. We'll get into some NBA. We're now less than a week away from the season. Wow. I'm pumped. I'm a little sad because the Knicks' backup point guard just retired, which I was not expecting considering he only played for 9 years. But either way, I know we touched on some teams last week. I think now we shift more towards some that we didn't talk about. And one that I do want to talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, since we last spoke, it has come out that Giannis apparently had interest in going to the New York Knicks. Do you guys think that's going to be something that happens? Do you think that could be a locker room issue with the guys over in Milwaukee, considering how many new faces there are? I mean, how bought in is he, and do you guys see them doing anything?
I don't think you can ever justify losing Giannis. First of all, the Bucks have 2 years of eligibility. They have this year and next, right, with Giannis still, before they have to. They can wait. They can let this year play out. And listen. All right, I know it's the Bucks. I know that Giannis has no help. I know Dame's not there anymore. They've got Miles Turner as his number 2 option.
Hey, don't sleep on Kuzma.
Don't sleep on Kuz. But at the same time, I just have this feeling you can't pick against them this year. The East is so weak.
It is.
And sorry, I'll talk about those rumors in a second, but I just think that this is going to be the closest thing we've seen to 2018 Braun in ever. I think Giannis can go on a generational tear. I think he can put up 33, 13, have 4 blocks a night, 5 assists, 6 assists. I think we're going to be talking about him in an MVP conversation. That's not a hot take, but I think he's going to run away with it. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Wemby might be second. But back to those rumors, I just don't think the Knicks would do it. I don't know how it would work. I don't know what you're sending back. First of all, you're completely blowing up the Nova Knicks, right? You're sending Bridges, you're sending Cat. Is that it? Do you have to send? Do you have picks still?
I don't think they'd be willing to give up Cat, and I think that would be the issue because Cat at his core is a 4. He is not a 5. You cannot run him at the 5. And speaking of what you said, I looked into it a lot because I think Giannis to this day is the best player in the league, and I'll stand on that. But as a Knicks fan, they simply don't have the assets to give up to get him. Now, of course, him and Brunson would be great together, but this is coming off a year where I know I touched on it in our last episode, but they only had Bridges and Cat that first year playing together. I mean, they completely switched up that starting lineup. Yeah. It takes some time to gel, and I give them props for not, pulling the trigger on going after Giannis with an aggressive move. And I think it'll be exciting. I can't see the Bucks making a run. I just think they have too many flaws around. I mean, they're a heavy three-point shooting team, and they just, don't have that many guys that can hit threes consistently. And, Giannis can play make all he wants to these guys. He can drive and kick out like he does seemingly 20 times a game, but I just don't think they have the supporting cast around him. And I don't think that can get past a team like the Knicks, the Cavs, maybe the Pistons. Who knows? I know we talked about the Magic last episode. It's weak, but there are still good teams at the top.
No, I actually agree with both of you guys. I think Giannis is in line to have an unbelievable year. I mean, we know what Giannis is at this point, right? He's kind of a perennial MVP candidate. But I think his unhappiness with the organization could grow more and more as this core starts to prove just completely ineffective. I mean, the Giannis Miles Turner pairing, I honestly love. I really do enjoy it. But you're filling it out with Kyle Kuzma, Gary Trent, and Kevin Porter Jr. It's just this is a weak lineup, and I'm not a fan of the bench either. It's just I feel like you taking away Dame was like the perfect complementary piece for Giannis. And I think even though Dame is always injured and maybe they didn't get too much time together on the floor, I feel like as an organization, the NBA, you have to acknowledge that at a certain point to win a championship, things just have to go right for you. And to break up that core by waiving Dame and then, using that money to kind of bring in a guy like Miles Turner, I just don't think it's going to push the needle for Giannis. I don't think a Giannis trade is really possible unless a team like the Knicks were willing to send. It would have to be like Cat and Bridges. We've seen kind of the draft capital get maxed out for Rudy Gobert. So the disconnect there it's too difficult for that to exist.
So my question is, as a Bucks fan, what do you want? Because you don't control any of your picks till what, 2030, 2031?
Something like that.
So let's say you do, you have to get rid of Giannis, right? I mean, you can't tank. There's no picks you're getting out of this. I mean, if you trade for the Knicks picks, they're not going to be worth anything. You trade for the Rockets picks, they're not going to be worth anything. It's just there's no way they're getting their picks back either. So I think a Giannis trade, like at best you're getting like 30. Like, the assets you want back are going to be like legit players. And we're looking at like a 38 to 44 win team at that point. Like it's just like they're in such a terrible situation, but at the same time they won the title, so they can't be upset.
Yeah, I think I know. At least with the fans in the front office, the last thing they want is for Giannis to leave. But, if he requests out, they're going to get him out of there because at that point, that's about all they can do. Because if they don't and he walks for nothing, I mean, that would just be such a waste. And I just, it's a tough situation for Bucks fans out there. I kind of like them as a secondary team just because I was very into them when I was growing up. And it's an unfortunate situation, and I think looking towards a team that has actual promise and a very good future, I want to talk about the San Antonio Spurs. Now, Dylan Harper's looked like a natural out there in preseason. While it is preseason, he's not going to have a lot of pressure on him to go out there and, truly perform. He will likely come off the bench, you have to imagine, because he's a guard. They have De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
I think they have an outstanding lineup. I could see them being a top 4 seed, especially in such a strong conference. Yeah. I have that much confidence in them.
Absolutely agree. I think what we're gonna.
How can you not be excited about that team?
How can you not? I listen. I think like first of all, I mean, the sky's the limit with Wemby. We don't need to talk about Wemby, but God, it's going to be so fun. We missed out on like whatever the second half of last year.
Yeah.
And like, okay, people are already like getting like a little upset. They're like, maybe they shouldn't have traded for Fox. They ended up getting Dylan Harper. They're going to have the point guard set up. Let's not listen to that. Let's think about how awesome De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama are going to be as a pairing. Yeah. Dylan Harper's going to be great in the future. Right now, he'll be coming off the bench. He'll be developing. He'll have a lot of mistakes. He'll be great in the end. But this year is going to be fun for them.
Yeah.
And they just have a lot of assets. They have a lot of guys who will play tough defense. This is going to be a very fun team. This is going to be, at the very minimum, a playoff team. I am with you on that. I don't know about top 4 seed, but they are definitely going to be competing for that stuff.
No, and I want to double touch on that De'Aaron Fox-Wemby pairing because I think De'Aaron Fox is incredibly underrated. There are maybe a couple of players in the league that are faster with the ball in their hands, and when you have a guy like Wembanyama, you sit him in the post down low, he has so much gravity. And I see this. I draw this comparison because I think about Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. When you have a guy down low drawing that much, gravity, and then you have a super quick ball handler, you could just attack so easily. It creates so much space on the court. So I really can't wait to watch these Spurs. I also am a huge fan of guys like Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson. I think
I was going to bring this up if you did.
Incredibly underrated.
Yeah.
Hit me with it. What you got?
I mean, Keldon Johnson is, I don't know if it was the year before. I think it was the year before they got Wemby. He was averaging 20 a game.
He was fantastic.
Devin Vassell was averaging near 20 a game. I mean, these are guys who can go out and get their own bucket, and those guys are the 4th and 5th options. I mean, they just have so much scoring around the perimeter, inside the paint, and like you said about that Wemby gravity, these guys are going to be getting open looks because, when you have the ball like 13 feet in the air like Wemby does, you can find those open shooters, and if his playmaking takes that next step, he's going to have guys open, and that team could just be, not unstoppable, but, they have the depth to really, keep up with teams even when Wemby's off the court.
Yeah.
We got to give props to those guys because they were on the Spurs teams that had, 24 wins a game?
Bad.
Those were some bad years for Spurs. And listen, Spurs fans have had it good for a lot of the last 2-3 decades. And of course, they're going to have a great next decade too. But props to Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. Good on them. And I'm happy that they're getting their due too. I mean, those guys could be trade chips in the future too. But
of course.
Also, the Spurs just don't have legit 3-point shooting. Not that that's necessarily going to matter. They're just going to be awesome, I think. But those guys will be the closest thing they have to legit shooters, legit 3-and-D options.
Yeah.
They also have Harrison Barnes slotted in at the 4, so that gives
love that.
Okay,
love that.
The starting lineup though.
Good vet presence.
Yeah, you people always forget about Harrison Barnes, myself included, because I'm looking at the depth chart here. Yeah.
I'm curious if there's another team that kind of piques your guys' interest. I have one, but I've been throwing them out there, so I want to pass it off in case there's a team you guys want to dive into.
No, I assume you have a team you'd like to talk about.
Well, all right. I mean, the West is just so dominant, and I want to talk about some of the less dominant teams anyway.
Let's do it.
There's 2 teams that come to mind. I just think they're not. It's just not going to be there. Actually, sorry. I'll focus on one. The Sacramento Kings.
Okay. They just got Westbrook.
They just
got Westbrook. I saw that. I think that might actually. I would think I would have their over/under win total lower now because of Westbrook. Listen, the Kings are the 2022 Bulls 3 years older. So
Yeah.
they have DeMar DeRozan still. They have Zach LaVine still. They have Sabonis instead of Vooch. I think they're just going to be completely kicked on by the rest of these Western juggernauts. And I don't think I don't know if they're going to be fun. And it's just such a stark contrast to 2 years ago. Like the Beam, Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox. It was just such a fun era. I shouldn't call it an era. It was such a fun season. And, I mean, now they're going to be competing for the lottery.
What a shame.
It is a shame. And I don't actually think Keegan Murray's playing this year.
I don't know how long he's out. Oh, he's out,
but he's not on the depth chart. I don't know if it's for the season, but
it's huge.
You know, they're about to put up a starting lineup of
that makes it so much worse.
Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, LaVine, DeRozan, and Sabonis. I don't even think they know who's going to take the shots because they all just want to shoot. So I just can't see the fit working anywhere across the board.
There is a chance that this will be a very fun League Pass team. I'll give them that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if it's like between doing some reading for a Thursday morning class or watching the Kings, I might choose to watch the Kings, but they are not going to be good at basketball. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah, I think Dennis Schroeder, starting point guard, tells you everything you need to know. I would look for Malik Monk to get moved. I mean, he's about the only promising young piece. I guess you could argue move everyone else, but I don't think Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan will ever get traded because it's just the name value is too high for the Kings that hold them. They're going to want Zach LaVine price when he's probably not worth that much in the trade market.
I wouldn't say so, yeah.
Yeah, this team is sad.
And we can go through one more team if you guys have one more you want to throw out there. I have one in mind. I was going to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans. Now,
I'm very down.
They've been not good in recent years. Zion's looking slim.
Ozempic Zion
looking pretty good. And, while Jordan Poole doesn't really, enlight much confidence in people anymore, I actually think that this could be a good fit for him. I thought he took a big step in his scoring last year with the Wizards. He was kind of able to figure out his play style, and now he doesn't have to carry the burden of having to put up 20 shots a game. I don't think this is a team that will necessarily be bottom of the West. I could see them making the play-in. That's about their ceiling, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I'll say a couple things. So first of all, this is another team that just has a bunch of guys on that I just love. Like Trey Murphy and Herb Jones are
outstanding
players. I think any fan, any franchise would die to have on
Jordan
their team.
Hawkins too.
Jordan Hawkins, super underrated.
Sadiq Bey. Remember when he dropped 50?
Yeah,
you can still do that.
Most random
Probably
50
not.
bomb.
Probably not.
Yeah. They jumped up to draft Derek Queen, who's very interesting.
Yeah.
They've just got like Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins, and this might sound kind of crazy, but when we were talking about Giannis earlier, I was thinking about teams. I don't know about the Pelicans draft capital situation, but I was thinking about teams that just had an abundance, like way too much like talent and not enough like incredible players. Could the New Orleans Pelicans be a potential suitor for Giannis if the Milwaukee Bucks were just trying to offload Giannis and he wasn't like, oh, I'm only going to New York?
There is, I think as a Bucks fan and a Bucks organization, you can't do that to Zion. I'm sorry. First of all, the Pelicans could be interesting. They could be a little cool. If Zion actually turns out to be something, that would be really fun. First of all, Zion's coming back in a Giannis trade, right? Like they have to get the contracts to match, and the Bucks will want some level of talent coming back too. I don't know. I think I'm a little more pessimistic about this Pelicans team than you guys might be.
Really?
I think it's just a very poorly run team, organization-wise anyway. I mean, that trade for Derek Queen, I mean, maybe they love the guy, maybe he's going to be great, but they gave up their first-round pick, 0 protections next year.
It wasn't smart.
It was
at all.
A complete overpay, and I don't know what he's going to turn out to be. They don't know what he's going to turn out to be. I just don't trust that organization, and it feels evil to Zion. I mean, I'm sure he could walk somewhere else, but I just... that would be so mean.
Yeah. I want them to be good. I really do. I think they're a fun team. I like Zion. He's a funny guy. I don't know. I can't see them making a run, but I'm hoping for the best for him. And like you said, if, a guy in the Kings like Malik Monk goes on the board, I think that's a guy they should maybe make a look at. A guy who can come off the bench and, be that, plug, 14, 15 points per game guy that I think a team like that might need. But with that, I think we will wrap up this episode. You guys have any final thoughts?
Really quickly, one quick hot take for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think the Pacers and Celtics are out of it this year.
Really?
I think
the Celtics might be, but I don't hate the Pacers.
I think Tatum can come back. I think people aren't talking about this.
The video?
Did you see the video?
Dunking?
He's fully working out. He looks like he could be legit. I don't know if he comes.
It's risky.
Okay, here's the thing. Jaylen Brown taking over the offense for like the next 4 months. Going to be great basketball to watch. Not going to be good.
Awful basketball.
It's going to be so fun.
Awful
basketball. It's going to be so fun. You're underestimating him.
I also hate the Celtics. So
the Knicks fan over here. I should have put that together.
Something we can agree on.
We all do hate the Celtics, but and then I just also think with Missoula, with Carlisle, with the Pacers, really well coached teams. Yeah. I mean, we saw the game after Tatum went down. He game planned so well against you guys. He forced a game 7. Missoula did that.
Game 6.
He forced the game 6. Yeah, sorry.
We don't go to 7 with those bums.
But either way, the Knicks were going to win that series. But I just still think that like these coaches can keep them afloat, and if Halliburton can come back, if Tatum can come back, just watch out. That's all. That's my hot take.
Yeah. No, I don't like that at all.
I think those are great takes, Salman. And I won't, this isn't necessarily a take, this is more of a prediction. I think I predict within the first month of the NBA season, you could take this to the bank. I think the Lakers are going to trade for one of my favorite random players in the NBA, Daniel Gafford. Because I just checked and I saw he's still the backup center. I'm not a big Derek Lively fan. I don't know how in the world, but clearly they value him so much. And I think the Lakers are going to see how trash DeAndre Ayton is. And they're going to go pick up Daniel Gafford, who is a player I just absolutely love. I encourage you to go look up Daniel Gafford highlights. One of the most like disgusting rim finishing bigs in the league.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I think Lively was made better by the fact that he had like one of the best lob throwers in the entire league. And I think Gafford has more of an ability to get his own bucket. And I do like that fit, especially with Luka over there.
What's a package for Gafford looking like? Like, what are the Lakers giving up for him? Because, I mean, what do they have?
Connect. It's got to be Connect, right? There's no way he stays on that team after they shipped him out, which I don't remember if I said this last year, but when that Mark Williams trade went through, I said the Lakers are going to the finals. I know. I was so big. The Lakers want to trade for guys because I absolutely love Mark Williams, too. Now he's stuck in Phoenix.
Yeah. It's a shame. But with that, we will wrap up this episode. I would like to thank everyone for watching once again. I would like to thank you, Salman, for coming on. We love having our guests, and you brought some energy, so it takes a little bit to load up as well. And glad everyone was able to join. And once again, GWU SBA on Instagram. You can find everything there. And enjoy the rest of your weeks, guys. We'll see you next time, and thank you.
Thank you, everyone. You can find our podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and LinkedIn, all under George Washington Sports Business Association. Like Casey said, thank you for joining us, Solomon, and signing off. Thank you, everybody.